I'm excited to introduce you to the new Tabinator Pro 2.0. This has got a lot of improvements in it. We've been working on it, got a lot of feedback from clients and beta testers. So take a look, let me know what you think. We're excited to show it to you. So first of all, once you install Tabinator Pro, I want you to take a quick look at what you have before. You have recent activities, active projects, and late today. There's a couple other tabs here, or at least one other tab called New and Updated that shows up when there's some other items. So we're going to go into the admin area. We're going to go into modules and turn on Tabinator Pro. So here we go. We're installing Tabinator Pro 2.0. And as soon as you install Tabinator Pro 2.0, you're going to see something new here. One, you've got the color indicators for a couple other tabs, and you've got the new and updated shows up automatically, and then this week shows up automatically. These are just our default settings, but this week and next week are now available. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Plus tab, which is where Tabinator resides. Most of you end users will use it this way. Administrators will have some other features we'll show in a bit. So here we go. So we're looking now under the tabs. These are all the tabs that are currently available to you. You're going to see the recent activities, active projects, late today, new and updated, and then some new ones now. We've got this week, next week, filter tabs, and URL tabs. So I'm going to start with the first default tabs that are already enabled. We've got the this week and next week tabs that you can turn on just with a quick click, and this is going to show you everything that you have access to for this week, things that are in your scope. If you're an admin or if you're a project manager, you might have a lot of information here. So you can choose how you customize that. You've got the options here for including late items or not. You've got options to include items that you've created. So maybe you're not responsible for them or you're not assigned to them, but you've created them and you still want to get them in your view. And then you've got the I'm assigned, I'm responsible. These are really great if you just want to see what you're assigned to or just want to see what you're responsible to. As a project manager, that's more important. If you're an end user, these I'm assigned and I'm responsible may not be as important because you may be only assigned to the things that you're assigned or responsible to. But keep in mind these are important. So if you check off I'm responsible, you're just going to see what you're responsible for. If you check off the include late items, you're going to see anything that's late this week in your mix. Our recommendation, what we prefer to do, is have the late items show up in a separate tab we call late, which you can create with the new filter tabs. So let me show you that real quick, how to set up a filter tab. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to choose late, and I'm going to say here's the filter tab. I'm going to turn it on. Now once I hit save, I'm going to have a new tab called late, and you see down here it's at the end and it says 3. So I've got 3 things that are late, and wow, I'm 168 days or 69 days late on a particular task. Of course, this is my demo dashboard, but at the same time, you might have some things that are a few days late or a week late, and you don't want these necessarily showing up, in my opinion, right in the Today tab where you have them right now. So you're trying to get your work done for today, but you got all these red items that are just kind of, aggravating you or staying there. And a lot of times these things, if they're late, they're there for a reason. They've been pushed back. They haven't really gotten done. There's something holding them up. You don't want those holding you back from getting today's work done. So here's what we do. We'll turn off this late today tab right away. And then we'll go here and we'll set up a late tab, and then you can add unlimited filter tabs. So I've just set up another one, and I'm going to choose the today filter. I'm going to turn that on and I'll hit save. So now I've got late and today, and I can color these however I want. So if I want late to show up red and today to show up maybe, a gray color, let's go a little lighter gray maybe. So we'll go down here. And then we'll say what order do we want these in. I think maybe I want the late ones to be, up here somewhere, and today right beside it, and then we'll have this week, next week. And I want to move new and updated down to the bottom, maybe the last tab. So I'll hit save. And these should all update, and you can see now you have late over here. Our other old late today tab has been turned off. So now when I go to today, I don't really have any tasks here right now, but when I go to today, I can see just my today items, but I can still go back to look at late. Maybe you want today to be green or something like this. You can just quickly choose green, maybe a nice color that you like. I don't know. Hit save. And now you've got a green tab there. You can make the late less important and highlight it in a darker red. Do whatever you want, but those are all for you to customize. You can play around with it. So now you've seen that we can drag and drop and move things around. We can also turn these off. So let's just say if I don't have anything showing up late, I could choose hide when empty. So late just disappears unless I have something late. And I'll just give you an example of that. Today, there's nothing there. So if I hit save, we should see that today has disappeared. So this is really nice when you're setting up some of the custom filter tabs, because you might have a tab for a specific project, but if there's nothing to do in that project, then you just don't have that clouding up your dashboard. Now, what's an interesting use of Tabinator Pro is once you get started with it and you get these tabs set up, then you can start using one of our other products, Quickify. And I just want to give you a quick example of how Tabinator Pro and Quickify together could really improve your workflow. So let's just say I have to get this task done, and I see it's 48 days late right now. And one of the reasons is there's another task that I need to assign to someone else to get done before I can get this done. So I can just hover over this task, or this ticket, click on task, and I can say contact the hosting company or something like this about setting up a new user. I don't know. Who knows what it is? So we say this is a high priority because we want to get this done, and we set a due date for it, and we choose somebody on the team to get this done. We hit submit, and now right from the dashboard we've gotten that done. Now imagine if these Tabinator tabs could be full of the things that you need to get done. So for instance, this week I just set up a task here for John Smith that I created. So if I refresh this, the number goes to 1. I've got this item here. Now I can see that this is due today or due tomorrow, and I can take action on it. John, what's happening with this? And I can hit submit. Now, one of the benefits of Tabinator and Quickify together is that you can set up these tabs with information you need to see and then work on them right away. So for instance, in Tabinator, you can also set up a filter for a person or a project. In this example, I'll set up one for myself. Let's just say I'm a manager managing Nathan, and I want to see what Nathan has to get done. I can add a new tab, put that on my dashboard, and now Nathan's tasks are all listed here. So I can now see Nathan, one of my team members, and he's kind of getting behind on his stuff. So I can actually go back and reply to Nathan. I can actually change the due dates. Or I can actually, if I want to, just reassign this stuff from Nathan to somebody else because he's not getting it done. So there's different ways to work on it, but you see that as you put information on the dashboard and you use Quickify, you can interact with it. The dashboard becomes a very useful environment. So I think you can find an interesting balance with these features, turning them on and off, dragging them into the positions that best fit you. And for instance, if you've seen Tabinator Pro 1.0, then you're familiar with our URL tabs. Well, I've just added a URL tab for a Smart Bear, one of my favorite blogs. And if I hit save, you're going to see this show up now. And I can actually get to the Smart Bear blog right from my dashboard. So this might be nice if you're trying to inspire your team. You can post a blog or even post your own blog here so that people can keep updated on what's happening. You can bring other information in though, because we've got in 2.0, we've added multiple URL tabs. So you can add as many of these as you'd like and configure them to show different pages that you find interesting. Now you're going to see here when I did this, it says you cannot select more than 8 items. That is a great introduction to the admin features that we're going to show you that Tabinator Pro has. So let's go into the admin for a second. And we'll go into Tabinator Pro under Other. And here you're going to see a couple different options. One, we've set the default tab limit to 8 because this is what our wider theme and what modern themes show by default very well. But a lot of people we've found in our customers have been really enjoying using tabs, and they'll set up even maybe 3 rows of tabs, and that it just makes it easy access to different information. So we've opened this up so you can make this unlimited, basically. So I can say I want 20 tabs here. And it's not going to give you 20 tabs by default. It's just going to give you that ability to add up to 20 tabs. You can add a number like 999 if you want to. I don't think anyone's going to get that high, but let's just say 25 tabs, for instance. And maybe you've customized your theme and you want it to be a little bit higher. Modern theme has the option to make it a bit higher, so you could always key this in at 600 high, and that would give you some more height in your iframe for the URL tabs. So I'm just going to save this real quick. That's a general option on the Tabinator Pro page. But what you've also got here is you can set up a default configuration that will go across for all users. Now, what we were looking at before was sort of the individual profile version of Tabinator Pro that was available in 1.0. And in 2.0, in 1.0 there were some features here, but they were very limited. So now we've got some advanced features here. We can also turn on the background colors. We can set which one's going to be default, which I didn't show you yet, but you can choose if you wanted this week to be the default view that shows up. You can select that, and when you save it, every time you load Tabinator Pro, the first thing that shows up is going to be this week. So you can get some really nice customization here and push it across all your users. And that includes the filter tabs. You can set up as many of those as you want. You can set up as many URL tabs as you want. And this functionality, once you hit save, means that every user, when they log in, will get the same new tab. So if you adjust it and you want to change it at some point, you can change it, and they'll all get the same setup. Now, going a step further beyond that, we've also got the override default options per role, which allows you to say, you know what, my clients really don't need to see all this information. They don't want more than one tab or two tabs, or they want different tabs. We can go into the client company manager or member, let's say. So let's go into client company manager because I have one of them open in Firefox. And I can go in and I can say, okay, I don't want to show the recent activities. I just want to show projects. I want the project to be the default. And I'm going to turn off late today because that's not really relevant to them. And I'll keep the new and updated ones. But maybe I want to add a this week tab and I want that to be second, let's say. Okay. So when I hit save on this, and now when I go to my Firefox browser, we should see that now we've only got these tabs, active projects, this week, new and updated. So we've just got the ones that we turned on. The client can still go in and change some settings and customize it if they want to, but more than likely they're just going to use what you've given them. So if you decide, you know what, clients actually need another tab, you can always go back in and change that. So let's go to Client Company Manager, and I'm going to say, actually, my clients seem to want to see what's coming up next week, and I actually want next week to be default because they're always looking ahead. I can select that as a default. I can hit Save and continue editing, and then I'll go back to the client's view and I'll refresh this. So you see now we've got next week, and next week suddenly became the default. So you can customize what your clients see when they come in. You can also use those same settings we talked about before. If it's empty, you can turn it off. So if you don't have anything planned for next week, let's not just highlight the fact that we don't have anything planned for next week. Let's just turn that one off. And when your client logs in, if there's nothing for next week, that tab disappears and it pushes them back to the active projects tab. So this way you can get right in, see their projects. This is what the client views. Again, you can change that per role. So if the manager role might be different, in the manager you might want to have some extra tabs there for things like, I don't know, late. You might want to have special one particular user. You could set up members of their team so that they can manage their team. Just depends on your setup. So there's lots of different things, and we'll have some ideas that we'll post, more blog posts and things about that in the future. But great ideas to set up originally is just to get them started. So this particular role, the client company manager, can be set up however you want. You can set up your admins however you want. You can set up your roles. One of the important ones, your project manager role, allows you to configure what your project managers see across the board, and they might want a very specific setup that has tons of tabs, whereas you might want to only see 2 tabs. So there you have it. That's the new settings for Tabinator Pro, and I hope you get a lot of use out of this, and we'd love to hear your feedback. are there more features you want to see? Are there features that you really love about this new version? Share that with us whenever you get a chance. Okay, thanks.